The South Dakota Highway Patrol is asking for the community's support after one of its troopers was brutally assaulted during what they're calling a routine traffic stop. The South Dakota Highway Patrol says that this is the location on Interstate 90 where a Box Elder teenager suffered fatal injuries on Halloween night. Welcome back to Rallytown, where the 75th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is more than halfway over, but it's showing no signs of winding down. Thanks for joining us. I'm McKenzie Nelson. Hey, you guys, it is a motorcycle oasis down here in the Civic Center parking lot. This tour is traveling to 5 different cities in 5 days. Here with me now is the editor-in-chief of the Hot Bike magazine. His name is John Holt. Thank you so much for joining me. The veterans of Hot Springs have spoken today, marching from the American Legion here in Hot Springs to the VA hospital, as you can see behind me. With them are signs like this one right here, and they say they will not stop until their voices have been heard. That is exactly right. The Sturgis Police Department has responded to 525 calls for service as of Wednesday. Students and their families are lending a helping hand this evening, producing items to be donated to charitable organizations. Every Christmas Eve for the past 5 years, she has taken time out of her holiday to put homemade scarves and hats on the presidential statues here in downtown Rapid City. Today, history was made as same-sex couples gathered under the Mount Rushmore National Monument to celebrate national marriage equality. Take a look. The event, organized by the women who challenged South Dakota's ban on same-sex marriages, took place in the amphitheater of the memorial, something that has never been done before. Nancy Rosenbraun, who sued the state along with her wife Jenny, renewed their vows alongside of 6 other couples.
That's our First Amendment speech, is to be able to say I do in South Dakota. And for Jen and I, we get to say it in our home state.
The Rosenbrauns ran away to Minnesota years ago to wed, and today's event was a celebration of their long, hard fight.
Today is a validation. Today is an affirmation that we belong.
Dear beloveds, do you take your beloved to be your lawfully wedded spouse? Do you vow to love them and care for them for as long as you both shall live?
Annie Lloyd, who officiated today's marriage celebration, says Mount Rushmore was the perfect spot because for some, she says it's the example of the greatness of America. And her favorite part about the day,
to be able to present them to the community and say, here they are. Here they are after all these years. You know, some of these folks have waited literally decades.
After many years in the dark, couples lit up after seeing so many people in attendance that wanted to witness and celebrate their love.
We have anticipated people might get up and leave, but I didn't see any of that. When I would turn around and look, all the people appeared to be in the place. There is more support out there than we get to see on a day-to-day basis.
Once the couples come back from Cloud 9, their next stop will be Chamberlain. On Saturday, September 12th, the LGBT community, equality organizations, and allies will discuss what legislation they will tackle next. Family members said a sad goodbye today, but it was also a celebration of a life well lived. South Dakota remembers him as the former leader of our state, but loved ones remember him as a follower of Christ.
I would say that's his biggest accomplishment. More than anything he's ever done, that would be his top of the line.
Faith played a major role in Walter Dale Miller's life. He was incredibly involved with his church in Viewfield.
Faith guided Walter Dale through a lot of different challenges. We all know the challenges that he faced as a Meade County rancher with the weather, the challenges of losing Mary, and the challenges of leading our state in the time of need with the plane crash.
Walter Dale Miller took over as the 29th governor in turbulent times. He stepped in after Governor George S. Mickelson passed in a tragic plane crash. The Capitol was his home for 20 years, but beyond the walls of the state building, he was seen as much more than a politician.
Today, we remember him as a son, and a husband, and a father, and a grandfather, and a great-grandfather. We remember him as a friend and a neighbor.
Miller was a family man.
Seldom do I remember an important moment in my life that my great-grandpa wasn't a part of.
Even with a large family, his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren said he always knew what they were up to. And on such a somber day, his son, Randy Miller, said his father would have been so pleased.
Today, he would think this is a great day, because he'd call up from here and he says, I'm coming out. He said, can we get together? Well, we're together today. And then he'd say, suppose we get down to your house, have something to eat. Well, this afternoon at the New Underwood, we're going to have something to eat. So we're all together. We're having a big family feast. So he should be well pleased today.
Following the service, Miller was laid to rest this afternoon at Viewfield Cemetery near the Miller's Meade County Ranch. For Black Hills Fox, I'm McKenzie Nelson. You've seen it in Ferguson, Missouri and Baltimore, Maryland, the controversial use of lethal force taking over headlines and causing riots. But what goes through an officer's mind when they're put in a similar situation themselves is something I experienced during my training today. In one scenario, I pulled over a vehicle with 2 occupants inside after what people could say is a routine traffic stop. As I was getting out of my car to approach the driver in his vehicle, things went south. The passenger got out of the car and took off running while the driver got out and began aggressively yelling. Before I knew it, I was shot in the chest. Across the country, police officers have to make split-second decisions in many different situations every single day.
There is no one thing that's the same. Traffic stops are all different no matter who you encounter, and we do have to be thinking on our feet. We try to depend on our training, through our experience, and work our way through it to see what's going on.
During scenario number 1, I had to draw my gun before even approaching the vehicle I had pulled over. Law enforcement at today's training session said I was correct to have drawn my weapon and fired shots as I was reacting to the threat in front of me.
We tell people, hey, you have to do what's reasonably necessary to get through that situation safely for them and for you.
My heart's pounding. They got out of the car and just started shooting at me, and one guy took off. Before I could even draw my gun, I think I was shot. So, yeah, a little jittery.
I've probably done 1,000 traffic stops, and every time I go up on one, my heart's beating. It beats a lot faster.
With people across the nation questioning the decision of lethal force, the Pennington County Sheriff's Office just wanted to show what little time you have to make a life-changing decision.
We just hope it would get back to the public on let's not judge until we get all the facts.
For Black Hills Fox, I'm McKenzie Nelson. If you'll be shopping for jewelry anytime soon, you should know about something catching on in the diamond business. Lab-grown diamonds. They're as real as diamonds from the mine, but cost less. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Rushmore Mall is getting involved by encouraging shoppers to think pink. It wasn't just pouring rain in downtown Rapid City. Main Street Square was also pouring beer for the 4th annual Beer Bourse. A Tanzanian teen finds hope in Los Angeles. She went through almost unspeakable horror and pain. Now she has a positive outlook for her future. Well, families celebrated fall fun with a spearfish staple, and they tried not to get lost along the way. Black Hills Fox reporter Robert Grant takes us to the corn maze. The group talked about some of their past experiences as part of the museum's Learning Forum series. Black Hills Fox reporter Robert Grant takes us to some of the local landmarks said to be haunted. Black Hills Fox reporter Robert Grant joins us live in the studio with the details on the 5th annual Strider World Championship. Hey, Robert. There is newly released video from a daring rescue that freed more than 70 hostages from ISIS and left an American hero dead. Today, zombies could be seen all over Sioux Falls as they prepared for the annual Sioux Falls Zombie Walk Parade. Well, it is the pheasant season home opener this weekend, a 3-day event for South Dakota residents to hunt pheasant on public land before the season actually begins on October 17th. Well, it was another perfect day for sweatshirts and light jackets as we had cool, kind of cloudy conditions today.